There's a good view of the 3 peaks we're just on top of. The 3rd peak doesn't look as cool from here, unless I'm seeing them wrong. Yeah, I think that's the 1st one, 2nd one, 3rd one. And whatever, Kailua. Anyway, we're shirtless for this hike. I was trying to wait out the rain, but I think I'm gonna be screwed. And this might end up sucking anyway, so if it starts raining hard, I might turn around. This is Maunawili Falls. All right, so right off the highway, look out onto the trail. I'm pretty shaded from the rain in here, but it is raining pretty hard, I think. So I don't know. Yeah, the way to hike here in Hawaii is not to wear clothes so they don't get wet. My socks are wet, my shoes are wet. I've changed shirts multiple times, I've changed shorts multiple times. I'm back in my shorts that I had on yesterday, which are still wet from yesterday. So this trail is pretty basic. The rain's kind of on and off, but I don't feel a lot of it. This is great with no shirt on. Somewhere towering way up above us, I think, are K1 and K2, which I'm gonna do at some point this week from another route. Although you can go up from this trail somehow, super steep. So anyway, I mean, some of this is actually nice and runnable, which is nice because I haven't really gotten any runnable terrain aside from that road. So yeah, this should be a good time, but who knows, it might get, I think it gets a little steeper and sketchier near the end. Oh yeah, look at the view, baby. Can't see up there. I think K1 and K2 are up there somewhere. We're just kind of winding, contouring, slightly going up. You know, obviously you can't see the trail, but somewhere way over there in some canyon is the waterfall, because it's a little over 3 miles each way, and we maybe have gone 1. But yeah, this is pretty pleasant. All right, great view of our 3 peaks here, which I took a picture of, which I might use for the thumbnail. The 3rd one doesn't look nearly as impressive. It looks really hard when you're coming at it down peak 2, but maybe just that steep descent down peak 2. But yeah, the pit, you can see the ascent up peak 3 is not really that steep. So anyway, 1, 2, 3. We're 1.3 miles in, I just checked, and we have not, I feel like this has been basically flat, so right after my last check-in at like 1.4 miles, the trail suddenly got a lot muddier. There were a lot of down branches, and a lot of times it was at the same time as the mud, so I actually took a slip in the middle of that, a little oink, a squeal, like I was a pig in the mud. So, didn't get hurt, but took a little slip in the mud. But yeah, the trail's gotten not hard to follow, just a little more primitive and overgrown here as I'm getting into the second half. And you can see you have stuff like this. I mean, this one's minor, but before you had to, it was like a little jungle gym you had to go through with a bunch of mud and water under you, so not ideal. Starting to get better views. It's gotten a lot muddier, and I don't want to say tougher, but moving a little slower now. So I heard their voices in the canopy, and finally they were going the other way. But they told me they're not parked where I'm parked. They said where I parked it's supposed to only be 15-minute parking. So fingers crossed something doesn't happen to the car. I do have my wallet, well, and my phone. Oh, now we got sun. Good thing I put some sunscreen on my shoulders. We have a sign. Let's give you the sign. Welcome to the Maunawili Falls Connector Trail. No camping, no drugs or alcohol. No booze? Okay, so I think we're going down. I'm just gonna check my map. Excuse me. But I think this is our I think it's about 700-foot descent to the waterfall. Great view of your peaks there. So yeah, this is it. Heading down about 700 feet down this canyon. This is probably going to be the toughest part, the down, I would guess, especially if it's steep and muddy. And then some people made a comment that they were just like in the river, like in the water. So I don't know. It looks like there's a trail, although it's, oh man, at least there's steps, but it's really brushy, at least at first. So yeah, this could be miserable, but I don't think it's that long. Maybe half to 3/4 of a mile. It's fairly steep, I think. Steepest part of this hike. I still don't get how this is 2,000 feet total. I think that's probably wrong. So pretty impressive vertical faces and cracks up there. You can see why it's not easy to hike up some of this stuff. Anyway, we're on this ridge. It's kind of miserable because some of these plants are kind of thorny. So I think one guy made a comment that hiking pants would be recommended, and this would be the section why, but then you just have more wet clothing on too. So I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. I might change my mind by the end of this after I'm all scratched up. But I mean, it hasn't been down too steeply, and right now it's not. It's pretty flat. So we maybe have descended 200 feet. So still a while to descend somewhere. I'm assuming the waterfall's in this canyon, maybe? One of these canyons to the side of us? Unsure. Yeah. So it's gotten a little messier. Look at these plants. I wanted to show you these little things that uncurl. Pretty cool. They almost look fake. Yeah, all sorts of little stumps, and some of the metal steps that are missing, they still have the vertical piece of steel. Like if you fell and like ran into one of those, it would hurt. So yeah, mainly just wet, but so we've hit kind of a four-way, came down through that puddle. I think this is where we want to cut down to get to the falls. I can hear something down there. I just looked at the map too. So I think this is it. I think this is, oh, man, this is probably gonna be pretty steep here. There's a nice route, but I'm not to it. And I think this is gonna get messy. Should I be going up here or down here? Maybe not. That's fine if I get muddy. Yeah, it's pretty steep and muddy. Ah! Yeah, this is the worst part. It's all muddy, and someone said in the comments to put bug spray on, so I forgot about that. So hopefully I don't just get completely attacked. We're getting closer to water. This looks super sketch getting down. Maybe we'll try to take the more gradual side route down. Yeah, this looks like a use path through the bamboo forest here. But it looks like you could go directly down. I just want to see the waterfall and get a picture or a video. Man, yeah, nice bamboo. I see water. Where's the waterfall? Yeah, I just want to get down so then I can climb back up this mud slope. So note to self, now that I just came through that mess, it looks like there's actually a more defined trail with steps that probably if I continued, so I probably, go figure, I took a steeper shortcut. Oh, is this even a waterfall? It's just like a bunch of little baby rapids. I was hopeful for something a little bit better than this. So, I think the waterfall's upstream. So I'm gonna attempt. Ah! What the hell? All right, well, I crossed. And then I think I can bend upstream. So I don't know. I want to see a waterfall, like a real waterfall, so I'm gonna head upstream, and I think that's, the map, my phone can barely open at this point, and this bamboo is not gonna make it any easier. This is a mess. It looks pretty cool, look. This is like on survival shows when they like cut it for cordage and stuff. So we're gonna head upstream and try to find a waterfall for y'all. So we just got cliffed out. Well, if we want to stay dry, I think we have to hop over here. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. It looked like there was a used trail that picks back up. It looks like it's getting a little bit better. So I don't know why I'm attempting to keep my feet dry because they're already soaked. So I might as well just walk in the water, but anyway, showing off my skills here and continuing upstream to what may be a baby waterfall. All right, and there is a waterfall, so I guess I'm glad I continued up. Whoop. Let's try to at least get up there, right? Yeah, maybe over here. Yeah. Can get closer. Maunawili Falls. Wipe the lens. Ta-da! So I didn't actually cross, I stayed on this side, but I think now I gotta cross back, I think. Yeah, because I think I'm gonna get, maybe not. I'm trying to be sneaky, but I think I gotta go back this way through the bamboo forest. And yeah, so let's just put our tail between our legs here and admit defeat. And now I'm kind of in a tough spot. I think I gotta, this is kind of a hard rock to step on. I gotta get to this one. Yeah, this is a slippery rock. I don't like it. I don't like this one bit. Alright, I got a little wet, but it's fine, because I'm already wet. Let's go back through the bamboo, and then we gotta cross again. Just slightly lower. And then they'll be up that steep slope, but it might not be as bad, because I'm not gonna go up the mud slope this time. Alright, I'm back. Surprisingly, for how wet those rocks are, they're not that slippery. Like, you can step on top of them with a lot of confidence, as I probably will eat it some other time. So yeah, we're gonna unfortunately have to climb like 700 feet now. Some of it steeply and messy. So yeah, let's try this steppy route this time and not the mud slope I decided to slide down. Yeah, just a long slog back, a little over, well, maybe about 3 miles at this point. So update, this steppy route is much better because, as you can imagine, it prevents erosion. So yeah, come all the way to this bench or whatever it is, and at this red post, and then bang down. So I headed down. Not yet. Wait for it. Wait for it. Still climbing. Still going. I don't even know. Somewhere way over here. And it was a mess. All right, I don't know. All right, it was literally 2 seconds later, right around the corner. This is where I headed down. Continue straight when you get to the four-way junction. Of course, the water level is always going to be different. So for me, it was easy to rock hop across, but I'm sure sometimes you're just going to have to get wet. In fact, people just said they had to get wet, but maybe they weren't locating the right use trail. But either way, I'm wet either way, so it doesn't matter. Just get wet, go in the water, have fun, swim by the waterfall if you want. I wasn't really in the mood to do that, but if it were a hot day and it were dry, and there were no bugs, by the way, so good thing that didn't come back to bite me, pun intended. Must say it is pretty cool. Just, I mean, I showed you on the way down, just heading up, looking straight at this wall and this ridge. I just want to romp all along it, but with this brush, I can see why I don't think there's routes just traversing this ridge, because it's so dense and hard to bushwhack here. So I think there's some connections you can do, but I think it's probably messy if you try to do the whole thing. So probably not too much further up till we hit the trail, a couple 100 feet. Still have some steppy sections, I think. And this is kind of the sharpest section, getting through some of this. Not as bad as Arizona though in the desert, that's for sure. We made it out of the brush, back to the main trail. But it's gonna be messy for a little bit. Can't even take a picture with my phone. So I don't know how you keep things dry. It's in a waterproof bag. If I kept it in the back in a bag, it would somehow still get wet. If I brought a towel to dry it off, the towel would get wet. Like, it's impossible to keep anything dry, which I hope that doesn't come back to bite me if I need to navigate sometime. So I need to figure out a solution for being able to access my phone and keep it dry, because clearly the waterproof bag doesn't work. So the rain's coming hot and heavy. Just got through the muddy section that I slipped in on the way there, so that means I have like 1.4 or so left, I think. Yeah, April showers, it's April. April showers bring May flowers. But what do May flowers bring? Pilgrims. Ta-da! All right, I forget if I came down those stairs or not. I think I'm parked right down here. All right, and we're back. Yeah, and it's pouring. And my car's there. Maunawili Falls. Need to get dried off and get in the car. Get my clothes off. I just can't do it outside now.